Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with a full review of the brand new ANKER SOLIX C1000 portable power station. This is a brand new product from ANKER that provides all the power you'll need to charge and operate your thirsty portable devices when you're away from home. Now, I've had this product for the last couple of weeks, and I've been testing it extensively in a lot of different scenarios. I've had it with me out in the field when I was flying my drone to charge my drone batteries, the controller, my camera batteries, and it worked great. I've also taken it on a road trip with the family. I had it in the back of the car with a nice long USB extension cable to keep the kids' game consoles charged, to keep them busy, and to charge my laptop. I've even used it as a backup battery solution at home when we lost power a couple of weeks back, so we could keep a couple of lights on and charge all of our digital gear. And again, the reason it works well in all of those scenarios is because the brilliant design team at ANKER has really thought about how I'm going to use a portable power solution like this, and they've incorporated all of the major innovations that have taken place with these portable power solutions over the last couple of years into the C1000. And those innovations are really important, and I'll explain those in detail in a little bit. But before I do, I always like to start with a brief unboxing of any product I'm reviewing, just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and that way you'll understand exactly what you get if you decide this product is right for you. And then I'll dive into the technical specifications so you understand how powerful it is, how many ports it's got, all the things you really care about. But I want to spend some time talking about three specific aspects of any portable power station you're considering: how you charge it, what type of battery chemistry and technology holds that charge, and more importantly, once I have that charged battery group, how do I distribute that power to external devices? And all three of those are really critical, and all three of those have innovations in this unit that were developed by ANKER, and I'll get into that. And then finally, I'll come back one more time and point out a few things that I really like about this unit that you can use to compare it to other portable power solutions you may be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first open up the box, you'll find the C1000. It's a great design. It's got dual handles on it. I know a lot of portable power stations have a single handle. It weighs 26.5 pounds, so it's a little bit heavy, but it's got a lot of energy inside the unit, so I think it's the perfect balance between power and portability. But I like the dual handles because it makes it really easy to move it from your car to the camping site or move it around if you have to in your home. I also like the flat top because you can set your laptop up here, you can put your drone batteries up here, whatever you're charging can sit on top of it, and it's not down on the ground. A lot of other units have curved tops, or they've got some kind of funny top that you can't set things down on. I like that a lot. In addition to that, you'll get a couple of charging options. It includes an AC charging kit. Now, what's interesting about this is you'll notice it's a straight AC cable. You'll plug this into your wall outlet, plug this directly into the C1000. There is no charging brick, and I'll get into that a little bit more when I talk about how you charge the unit, but that's a major innovation because those external charging bricks are basically responsible for converting the AC in your home to DC that's supplied to other portable power stations, and they're wildly inefficient. So when you plug that into the wall, you're wasting a lot of energy, and it really limits how quickly you can charge the unit. You're going to be blown away by how fast we can charge this unit. You can also charge it in your car. So there's a DC charging kit included that has a standard connection on one end that you can plug into a convenience outlet in your car, and a DC connection on the other end which plugs into the unit, and you can charge it in your car if you need to. And that's great if you're on a road trip and you want to keep the unit charged, or maybe you're at a camping site and you're moving to another camping site and you've used a little bit of power. You can plug it into your car and top it off. You can also charge it from a solar panel, and the unit has special technology inside of it to groom the power that's coming from that solar panel and make it incredibly efficient as far as the charging cycle goes. So you can use up to a 600-watt solar panel, a portable solar panel, when you're out in the field to charge this unit, and you can charge it incredibly quickly, and I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But that's by far my favorite way to charge a portable power solution, because there's something magical about setting up a portable solar panel near my tent, drinking in that sunlight, converting it to electrons, and charging the internal batteries for free. So essentially, if you've got a portable solar panel with you, you can use this forever just by charging it from the sun. So there's three ways to charge the unit, and you get the unit itself. Now let's talk a little bit about specifications first, and then I'll dive into the charging cycle, the battery chemistry, and the discharge cycle. So the unit itself, again, weighs 26.5 pounds. It has an internal capacity of 1,056 watt hours, which is a lot of energy. Again, 26.5 pounds, 1,056 watt hours. That gives you a really decent energy density, and that's important because a lot of other units on the market weigh more but give you less internal capacity. And I think this is really like the perfect balance for like a 3 or 4 day camping trip, or if you're going on a long road trip, or you're a camper and van fanatic and you want to take a camper van out. It's a great way to keep power in that camper van. Or if you're, again, looking for a backup battery solution at home, it's perfect at 1,056. Anker's also going to offer a secondary battery that you can plug into the side to double that internal capacity. So that's going to be available very soon. But the unit itself, as it sits here today, 1,056 watt hours of internal capacity. But that provides 1,800 watts of external charging and operating capabilities that can surge to 2,400 watts. So you've got capabilities on the front where you can plug in 11 different things at the same time and draw 1,800 watts out of the unit with the surge protection built into 2,400 watts. Now the reason that's important is because if you're plugging something in, something like a drill or a blender, anything that's got a motor in it, it's going to draw an initial onrush of current, and it's going to need that little extra space. So with this unit, you can plug a drill into it, turn it on, you're not going to have issues. A lot of other portable power stations in the market have a hard limit. So if it says 1,800 watts and you plug a drill in that draws 1,900 watts, you're going to pop a breaker. With this one, you won't have to worry about it because it's using a technology that Anker has developed called SurgePad to allow you to draw a little bit more current when you need it and know that you've got that expandability. So those are the basic specifications. Now I'd like to cover the three aspects I mentioned before. How do you charge the unit? And what's special about that? What kind of battery chemistry and battery management is built into the unit to hang on to that charge? And then third, and probably most importantly, once I have that charged power station out in the field, how do I safely distribute that power to external devices? So let's start with the charging. You basically have two ways to charge the unit, AC or DC. The AC unit includes a cable like this that plugs directly into a wall outlet and plugs directly into the unit. Like I'd mentioned before, there is no external charging brick. All the conversion from the AC in your home to the DC needed to charge the internal batteries is done internally. And the reason that's important is because that circuit that converts the AC to DC, again, externally is really wildly inefficient, but Anker built a circuit in here that actually does that conversion extremely efficiently. And the reason that's important is because it's not only efficient, it's fast. So you can fully charge this unit from an AC outlet in 58 minutes. Now think about that. Most of the other portable power stations on the market that use an external brick could take an hour or two to charge. And if you're getting ready to head out on a trip, you don't want to spend 2 hours charging a portable power station. You want to plug it in, get a cup of coffee, pack up the power station and head out on your trip. So knowing you can charge it in 58 minutes is pretty incredible. And that's again because of the power technology that Anker's built into this unit. It's called Hyper Flash Charging, which is again a trademark term, but it's a trademark technology as well inside the Anker product. So 58 minutes from a full charge is pretty incredible. You can also charge it through a couple of different DC outlets. You can do it in your car by plugging this into a convenience outlet, plugging this into the DC port in the back, or you can charge it from a solar panel. Now, the solar panel is nice because Anker has developed an incredibly sophisticated battery management system inside of the C1000 that will actually regulate and groom the power coming from the solar panels to ensure the internal batteries are charged as quickly and safely as possible. And that's really important because solar panel charging is pretty inconsistent and totally dependent on how much sunlight there is available. And even if you set up the panels on a bright sunny day and some clouds roll by, those clouds are going to affect how much power those panels are generating. So the battery management system has to be able to compensate for that varying power, and more importantly, has to be able to squeeze as much energy as possible out of the power being generated by the panels to quickly and safely charge those batteries. And Anker's done a great job with that because using a 600-watt solar panel, you can fully charge those batteries internally in 1.8 hours, which is absolutely amazing. And the best part is you can set up a portable solar panel next to your tent and charge it for free with nothing more than sunlight. So you have three options for charging: an AC kit for charging at home, a DC kit for charging in your car, and a solar panel kit you can use when you're out camping. All right, so let's talk next about the battery technology inside the unit because that's really the heart of the system. It's where all the energy is being stored and then distributed out to those external devices. Now, there are a couple of different battery chemistries on the market. One of the most common ones is based on lithium polymer technology or LiPo technology, and that's a bit of an older chemistry. It does okay, but it's not great with hot and cold weather. It doesn't hold a charge real long, and it also doesn't provide a lot of charge cycles. So a lot of the portable power stations using that technology are kind of older technology. This unit is using some of the latest battery chemistry on the market today. It's lithium iron phosphate cells. And the advantage there is that number one, they'll hold a charge well. So you can charge this unit on a Monday. If you check it on a Saturday, it's going to have a full charge. LiPo technology, if you charge it on a Monday, maybe down to 80% by Saturday. So you're losing power just sitting there. With this one, it's going to hang on to the charge. It also provides a lot more charge cycles. Lithium polymer technology, typically 300 to 500 cycles. This one, well over 3,000 cycles. And if you do the basic math on that, if you charge this unit once a day, you'd get well over 10 years of use out of it. And that's really important because the batteries are not exchangeable. Basically, they're built into the unit. So knowing I've got a unit that I could use for the next decade is pretty impressive. And then the final point that's really good for the lithium iron phosphate batteries is that they handle hot and cold temperatures really well. And think about it, you're going to be using this on a camping trip, it's going to be really hot or it's going to be really cold. You want a unit that's going to be able to handle the variance in temperature really well, and that's exactly what lithium iron phosphate batteries are designed to do. On top of that, the battery management system inside of here is regulating the charge into those batteries and the charge out of those batteries to protect those cells. So there's all kinds of protections built into the C1000 around overcurrent, over voltage, over temperature, under temperature. All the things that could possibly damage the internal cells are being monitored by that battery management system to prevent damage to those really fragile and important cells inside the unit. So the battery chemistry is the latest and greatest. The charging is pretty wide open. You can charge it a bunch of different ways. But now the last question is, once I've got this charged unit out in the field, how can I distribute that charge to external devices? There are fundamentally three ways you're going to want to charge or operate a portable device. AC, just like at home, DC, just like in your car, or USB, which is most of the ways we charge our portable devices today. So this unit provides all three of those. I'll start with the DC. There's a DC port right up here, just like in your car. That'll provide 12 volts at up to 10 amps. So anything you plug into your car, you can plug in there and you can charge it to your heart's content. Does a really good job of charging through DC. As far as AC goes, you can see 6 AC outlets on the bottom here. Each of those are 3-prong, and that's important because most of the things you're going to plug in, like a fan, a blender, a toaster, whatever you're taking with you on your trip, are going to require a 3-prong outlet. A lot of the portable power stations still have 2-prong outlets on them, and that can be a problem if you're using an extension cord or you're plugging something in that needs a 3-prong. So 6 outlets right there. Those outlets will deliver 1,800 watts of steady-state AC current that can surge to 2,400 watts. Now, the reason that's important is because if you're plugging something into one of these ports that draws a little bit more power when it first turns on, something with a motor or a compressor inside of it, maybe a drill or a blender or a cooler, it's going to draw a little more current when it first turns on, and then it's going to settle down. If you don't have surge protection like this unit has, if you didn't have that, you might pop a breaker. With this one, you can plug a drill in, and if you start drilling into a board and you hit a hard spot of the board and it draws a little more current, this guy's going to be able to take care of it. So that surge protection is important. Another big difference is that this delivers AC with full sine wave output. And that's important because a lot of the portable power stations in the market use a modified sine wave, which is not that great with modern electronics. They really require that pure sine wave for clocking and a few other things. This provides pure sine wave output. So you've got 1,800 watts across 6 outlets with pure sine wave output, which is the best you can get. And then finally, there are 4 USB connections up top here. 2 of these are USB-C, 2 of these are USB-A. And really with USB, there are 2 standards on the market. USB-A is the larger connection. That's the older style. Those have been around for quite some time. The USB-C is the modern style, and that's usually typically a smarter charge, if you will, through those ports. So these 2 USB-A ports right here will provide 5 volts at 2.4 amps each, which is the highest amount of current you can get from a USB-A port. So anything you plug into a charger at home, you can charge on this unit by plugging it into one of those 2 USB-A ports. The USB-C ports over here are sophisticated ports. They're quick charging ports, which means when you plug a device in that's PD compatible, which is power delivery, the port is going to recognize that device as a PD device. It's going to interrogate that device to see what kind of charge it needs. It's going to adjust the voltage and current to quickly and safely charge that device. And you have 2 of those ports. The difference between them, this one will supply 100 watts of output. The other one will supply 30 watts of output. So you've got 2 different output powers. Depending on what you're plugging in, you'll want to make sure you plug it into the right port. But if it's something small like a phone or a tablet or camera batteries, you can use the 30-watt port. If it's something bigger like a large tablet or a laptop or drone batteries, you'll want to use the 100-watt port. But the nice thing is you've got 11 ways to use the internal power to charge external devices at the same time, which is pretty incredible. You've got a large digital display in the center, which will show you everything you need to see about the current state of the unit, and I'll show you that when I do the closer look next. And then finally on the top, you've got a courtesy light up here that'll actually light up a tent. And I didn't think I'd use that often because I always carry flashlights with me, but I found when I had it out on the road, we were using that light an awful lot because it's really convenient to have a light right there that you can turn on really quickly, use the internal battery to actually light up the tent. So really nice feature there. One other thing I do want to mention about this, and this is something I figured out and when I was using it as a backup solution at home, is that it's a great UPS, which is uninterruptible power supply. So if you plug this into the wall and then plug devices into it, you can actually charge through the unit to use the power. So if I plug this into the wall, I can charge the unit while I'm using power from the unit. And if you plug something in like a computer or anything you want to keep on, a CPAP machine, if you lose power in the house, it'll immediately kick in and take over in less than 20 milliseconds, which is an incredibly fast switching rate. So it's a great uninterruptible power supply to use as sort of backup power to keep your computer up or keep your CPAP machine running if you lose power during the evening. So they've done a great job with that. Next, I'm going to take a closer look at the unit, and then I'll come back and point out a few things that I think are really important about this product that you can use to compare it to others you may be looking at. On the front of the SOLIX C1000, you'll find a large color display right here in the center that provides all the information you'll need to understand about the current state of the power station. To turn that display on, you'll simply tap this button and you can see the charge level of the batteries. Right now we're at 100%. As you start using the unit to charge and operate external devices through any of the ports, that number will decrease, always indicating the current charge level of the batteries. The AC output section's along the bottom, the DC output section in the upper left, and the USB output section right here. Now you'll notice the AC section and the DC section have their own power buttons, and that's important because with the AC section, even though you may not be using it and have nothing plugged in here, the inverter that provides power to these ports is active and it's drawing power from the internal battery. So it's really important you turn this off when you're not using it, and the same for DC, just to be safe. Now I'll turn the display back on. Watch when I turn on the AC section. You'll notice an indicator right up there, and next to it is 60 Hertz, letting you know the frequency of the output of the AC. If I turn the DC on, you'll notice an indicator up here. So I'll turn both of those off. So let's start with the output section on DC first. This is a standard convenience outlet, just like the one in your car, and this can provide 12 volts at up to 10 amps. So anything you plug into your car outlet, you can plug in here and use it just fine. The AC section along the bottom provides 6 output ports that are all 3-pin ports, so you can plug in pretty much anything you plug in at home to these ports. Together, all 6 of these ports will provide 1800 watts of steady state power, and if you need to, you can surge to 2400 watts because of that unique technology surge pad that's built into it by Anker. So that additional 600 watts of output is really important if you're plugging in a drill or a blender or a cooler, because they're going to draw a little more current when they turn on, and it's nice to know that I've got surge protection built in. Above that are the USB ports. There are 2 full-sized USB-A ports. Both of these provide 5 volts at up to 2.4 amps, which is the highest amount of current you can draw from a USB-A port. So anything you plug into a charger at home, you can plug into either one of these ports and charge that device. To the left of that are 2 USB-C ports. The one on the left provides 100 watts, and the one on the right provides 30 watts. Both of these are intelligent ports, which means if you plug in a smart device that can quick charge, the port will recognize that, it'll interrogate that device, it'll figure out the current charge level, and adjust the voltage and current individually in these 2 ports to quickly and safely charge that device. To the right of that is an indicator for connecting to the application. Anker has an application you can download on your phone that will monitor and control this unit, and you can tap that to turn on that syncing. To the right of that is a reset button. If you have to reset the unit, you can use a paper clip and reset it there. On the very top, you've got a light. There are 3 stages to it. That's low, medium, and high. And then there's also an SOS mode. To enter that mode, you'll hold the button down for a couple of seconds, and it'll start flashing SOS. That can be really handy. If you happen to have the power station in your car and you have a problem with your car, you can set this down along the side of the road, put it in SOS mode to let oncoming cars know that you're pulled over to the side of the road. To turn it off, just tap it one more time. On the left-hand side of the unit, you'll find the 2 input ports that are used for charging the C1000. This is the AC connection. You can simply plug one end of the AC cable in here, the other end in any wall outlet, and fully charge the unit from your home in less than 58 minutes. On the right-hand side is the DC input connector, and this is used with the car kit and the solar panel charging kit. And again, you can plug it in here and plug in the other end into your car, or plug it in here and plug the other end into your solar panel. In the center is a reset button. In case you exceed the current the unit can provide, you may pop that circuit breaker. If you do, simply tap it to reset the unit. On the right-hand side of the unit, behind that rubber flap is a custom connector that's used to plug in the optional battery module to further expand its internal capacity. You can simply plug that module in and immediately double the capacity of the base unit. The C1000 has 1056 watt hours in the base unit. By adding that optional battery module, you'll double that to 2112 watt hours. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the ANKER SOLIX C1000 portable power station with other products you may be considering. Let's start with the basic specifications because I think those are important. The unit weighs 26.5 pounds and provides an internal capacity of 1,056 watt hours and an external charging and operating capability of 1,800 watts that can surge to 2,400 watts. That's a lot of energy for a small unit like this, which makes it the perfect portable solution for a couple of days of camping, a long road trip, or even as a backup solution for your home in case you lose power to keep the lights on and charge your digital devices. A lot of other units are bigger, but you have to consider if you're taking it out in the field with you for a camping trip and you bring it home with 50% of the power still in the unit, you've carried a really heavy unit out in the field. So finding one like this that's sort of in the middle, that gives you plenty of power but it's lightweight, is really the perfect solution. So let's talk about the charging options next. So you can charge it at home with the AC kit, you can charge it in your car with the DC kit, you can even charge it from a solar panel when you're out camping. The important thing to remember though is that ANKER has built this special technology inside the unit called hyperflash charging, which allows you to charge it at home in 58 minutes to a full charge. That's incredible. Most units this size can take 2 or 3 hours to charge, so knowing I've got that special technology that allows me to charge it quickly and efficiently means I can get out the door on my next trip a lot quicker. The same thing applies for the solar panel charging. If you're using a 600 watt solar panel, you can fully charge the unit in 1.8 hours, which again is incredibly fast, and it's free because you're drinking in sunlight and charging the unit when you're on your camping trip. So charging is very versatile and they give you a lot of different options. Next, we'll talk about the battery technology. This unit uses the very latest battery technology in the market, which is based on lithium iron phosphate cells. Those are the best to use because they handle hot and cold temperatures really well. They hold a charge for a very long period of time. And most importantly, you'll get up to 3,000 or more charge cycles out of those batteries, which means you'll have this unit for more than a decade, even if you charged it once a day, which nobody's doing. You're probably charging it a couple times a week, so you'll probably get even longer use out of the product. So knowing I've got the lithium iron phosphate cells inside, and I've got a very sophisticated battery management system that regulates the charge into the batteries and the charge out of the batteries to charge external devices, means I'm going to get a lot of use out of this unit. Then the third thing to consider is now that I've got these batteries charged inside the unit, how can I distribute that to external devices? The ANKER SOLIX C1000 provides 11 external ports that you can use at the same time for charging and operating all of your devices. Starting with the 6 AC ports on the bottom, together they provide 1,800 watts of external power that can surge to 2,400 watts when you need it, based on a proprietary technology that was developed by ANKER called SurgePad. And that's important because if you're using a device like a drill or a fan or maybe a blender, when you turn that on, it's going to draw a little extra current. And knowing these ports can handle it because of that SurgePad technology means I won't have to worry about popping a breaker. Each of those ports are also a 3-prong outlet and provide pure sine wave output as well, which is important because a lot of portable power stations on the market are still using a modified sine wave, which is not great for modern electronics. There's also a DC output right here, just like in your car, that provides 12 volts at up to 10 amps. So anything you plug into the outlet in your car, you can plug in there and it'll operate just fine. Finally, there are 4 USB ports on the front. 2 of those are full-sized USB-A and 2 are full-sized USB-C. The USB-A ports can deliver 5 volts at 2.4 amps, which is the highest amount of current that a USB-A port can deliver. So you can plug anything into those ports you're plugging into a charger at home and charge it just fine. The USB-C ports, one of them is 100 watts, the other one is 30 watts. That's a lot of power for a USB-C port. The 100 watt can charge your laptop or your drone batteries or a bigger tablet. The 30 watt is perfect for a phone, a tablet, a game console, and you can use all these ports at the same time. The USB-C ports are also intelligent fast charging ports, which means when you plug a device in that's compatible, it will actually interrogate the device, figure out the current charge level, and adjust the voltage and current to quickly and safely charge that device. So it's an intelligent port that will fast charge an external device. In addition to that, you've got a courtesy light on the top and a beautiful LED display in the center that will give you all the information you'll ever need about the current state of the unit. On the side, you'll find an expansion port you can use to add an external battery to it to double the internal capacity. And then finally on this side, you've got an AC input here for the AC kit and a DC input here for the 2 DC kits, as well as a circuit breaker in the center. And the unit is really just well built with dual handles. It's got a unified frame inside, so it's incredibly durable. And at 26.5 pounds with 1,156 watt hours of internal energy, it really is the perfect portable solution pretty much for any of your needs when you're away from home. One last thing I did want to mention is the fact that ANKER has created an application that you can actually run from your phone to connect up to the C1000 power station and monitor and control all of the settings inside the unit from quite a distance away. And that can be really helpful if you have it in the tent and you're outside the tent and you want to check to see what the power levels are, or if you're charging it while you're getting your cup of coffee, you can actually see how close it is to a full charge. So I think it's wonderful that they're putting the control of the power station in your hand inside the application. So I've spent a lot of time with this product. I've tested it in a lot of different environments. It just works really well. It's incredibly easy to use. It's fast charging. It gives me all the output power I could possibly need for 4 or 5 days of camping or a long road trip. And I just like it an awful lot. And I think you're going to like it as well. So thanks an awful lot for watching. And until next time, as always, stay nerdy.